Hello, hello.
Station, everybody, what is up? Thank y'all for coming through for, I guess we'll call it a renumbering, a back to number one, a new number one of Supreme Clientele. Appreciate y'all for waiting for us in the chat. We were trying to get things situated on both ends. Going to ask y'all to be patient with us as always. Technical issues are usually a thing with the show being on IG, but tonight we're, broadcasting from the StreamYard for the first time. So, things might be a little bit different. I'm hoping everything that I tried to pull together works and comes out okay. But, again, thank y'all for coming through on this Wednesday night. I hope everybody's doing well. Pretty good week for me so far. What's up, everybody in chat? I see Eric, Sal, John, Manny. Thank y'all for coming through. Link, how are you, my brother?
I am doing good. Sorry about the delays, everybody. I had a last minute surprise, unfortunately, but other than that, I'm well. Read some comics today, so it's always a good thing.
Absolutely.
What about you? How have you been? I saw you were mowing the lawn today.
Dude,
getting it in. Right.
Double duty, dude. I ran. I got my running in the morning and did the lawn, so I'm gonna sleep well tonight. Let's put it that way. But so it feels like an old like 2-a-day football practice when like I run in the morning and I still have to like mow the grass because the grass takes about two hours, dude. It's no joke. I don't have a riding mower.
Oh.
I gotta push mower. I don't BS it, man. I put in that work.
That's commitment. That is commitment, my man.
Luckily today it was like beautiful though. It was like 63 degrees. Perfect weather is
going.
Grass. Yeah, like it was no issue. So I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, man. I don't know, but other than that, things have been good. Everything's the same old thing, really. Halloween's around the corner. Excited for that. Oh, we gotta say shout out and congratulations to our boy Verno, who just got hitched. We saw Station Verno. Congrats, dude. Congrats to you and the missus. That's awesome, Verno. I know he just
hell yeah.
A blood spatter chatter with Quiet Place too, but yeah, even bigger and better news. So
just a good day all around.
Yeah, that was great news. I saw that right before we got on. So shout out to Vern. But yeah, I don't know. You want to get into it with Ahsoka as always? Did you catch the latest episode?
You know what? I knew I was missing something today, bro. I forgot. I have not seen Ahsoka yet. I'm sorry.
Hey, comments to talk about. Yeah, man. Episode 7 was great, dude. Action packed. More Thrawn developments. I love how like matter of fact and like business like he is. You know what I mean? His very practical approach to Ahsoka. I'm not going to spoil it too much for you, but just calls her unpredictable and dangerous. Realizes the threat he has on his hands with the Jedi. And, I don't know. I like the way they're continuing to flesh out the character. The action was great all around. We got action on 2 different fronts with Ahsoka and Sabine and stuff like that. But yeah, again, I'm not going to ruin too much for you. But another great episode.
I was listening.
No, you're good. Another great episode, and episode 8. Episode 8 is going to be killer. So, I guess when we convene next Wednesday, you'll have episode 7 and 8 in the bag, and we'll just go from there.
It'll be a double for me. Any Anakin appearances in this one? Any?
Yes. Hold on, I'm gonna try to switch this camera. So we got Anakin as like a hologram at one point, and we got him. That's all we got. But yeah, he did show up in the.
Okay. I can take. I'll take that. But yeah, damn it, my bad. I apologize. I'll be on it.
It wasn't anything like the one episode. You know what I mean? Don't get me like I'm not trying to like make it seem like it was nothing deep though. It was, but yeah.
Solid penultimate, setting up the final pieces.
Absolutely, dude. Dude, the man himself is in the house. Verno, bro, we were just talking about you, bro. Congrats, man. Congrats to Verno. Got eloped and hitched like a fucking boss. That's the way to do it because weddings are overrated and expensive. And dude, honestly, Jess and I we had a good string of weddings there where it was like within a year, 89% of the weddings we went to were ended in a divorce or annulment, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people, especially, so we met in the restaurant, and a lot of people we know really got together and tried to make it work too young, ourselves included, but our journey was different. But I don't know, man. Weddings just, after having been into so many, I mean, they're great. It's fun if it's not yours, but if it is yours, it's a nightmare to plan and on the finances. So shout out to I'm jealous, man. Shout out to Verno for for eloping and getting married with his lady, bro. Congrats to y'all. Our boy Nick in the house. Nick, thank you for coming through. I just watched the last 2 episodes today and loved them. Yeah, dude, that series is great, dude. Favorite Star Wars show by far. That's awesome. Andor is still my number one. I don't know if anything's gonna wrestle that one from the top spot, but yeah, for sure. But I don't know. And of course, our boy Fable in the house. Fable, thanks for coming through, bro.
Stay.
Thank y'all all for coming through tonight on the I guess the rebranding, the Heroes Reborn, the Supreme Clientele Heroes Reborn #1. We just gave a lot of money to Laugh Out LA and try to make it happen. All right, bro. Books, I'll leave it to you then. Where do you want to start? I'll let you call it.
Let's do something X-Men related. This love X-Men. But Dark X-Men 2?
Dark X-Men? All right, bet.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just kind of...
Go ahead and talk about it. I'm just going to try to get the setup up while you talk about it.
This issue just kind of picks up from last issue. If you're reading it, you see that Havoc are one of the best. Our boy got fatally wounded, and Maddie Pryor pretty much uses some dark magics to cobble him back together. I feel like there's going to be a ramification for that later on. But it's just, I like when it's like I like ragtag groups, like they're barely holding together type of teams, and this is one of those teams. You got Havoc, who's just love struck, debatably probably under a spell for Maddie. And you got 2-3 good guys in Gambit, Maggot, and Gimmick, who just renamed herself to like Faint or something like that. Faint. I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Yeah.
But she was the only mutant from that Children of the Atom miniseries. But this pretty much just explains why, in a brief sense, why Maddie's established her own team, what her ulterior motive is. You see here, right there, you see Havoc getting brought back together by the blood magic. But it's just a cool team, it's just stuff that works. Like, I like the fact that, why am I blanking on Nightcrawler's Azrael?
Yeah,
Azazel.
Yeah.
I like that he's on there, and it's for nefarious purposes. It's just I don't know if this writer, I've never read from them before, but I don't know if they've read other books. But it's like they've got Zero from the what was that series called? I think it was by Gillian. It was like when Hope was a big deal, like 2010 Generation Hope, I think it was the miniseries. But between Albert, then we've got, I forget, it was that Maggie or Susie? What is her name? the little killbot right there.
Oh, LCD.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah, with
Yes,
Albert. LCD, yeah, dude. That's Larry Hama
I
Wolverine
remember.
days. My bad.
Yeah. Yep. No. You're right. No, I was just gonna say that I remember kind of complaining like, "Where's Elsie? You got Albert, but no Elsie last issue." But here Elsie is, so it's like it was cool little pop-ups. We see that Maddie's got her own version of Cerebro, but it doesn't track down mutants; it tracks down souls. Shows what the rest of the X-Men are up to in this fallout after the Cohen incident. Nothing too crazy, but if you like X-Men, you like the characters. And kind of offshoot characters, I think you'll dig this book. Oh, we see Gimmick right here. She's debuting her new costume. We didn't get really much of a look at it, but yeah. What'd you think of this one? My bad, I got caught up looking at the panels. I did like that Nightcrawler or that Archangel panel at the very end. That was super dope.
Hell yeah, that was crazy. Like with the sorry, dude, my thing's spazzing.
No.
But yeah, like the I don't know. Like we talked about last time. Like I don't know about like the Madeline Pryor. Like I don't know like the whole history behind her and everything like that. But just the fact I don't know. I like the fact that she's like kind of like Orcus's I don't know, torturer in charge. You know what I mean? But like, what is this version? Yeah. What did she do to Warren, dude? Like, because Homeboy was like last time I saw like when she was last, like I don't know if we saw it on the slide, but I don't know if we last saw it in the like when we last saw it, she was like his whole face was whole. So like the fact that he's like a skull, like and he still looked alive.
I think it might be like a mask, because remember when he first got and became a horseman of Apocalypse, he had like that gold face. I think that's like a callback to that almost, but in like a more grotesque zombie way. But I think, but I don't understand the wings. The wings are what throw me off, like we'll see. Cool looking though. Death Angel for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. They're like the whole team's got a lot I don't know, like a lot longer to go, but I don't know. I wish they would push like more characters forward. I feel like I don't know. They're only like they introduced all these people and you thought they were going to make use of like Empath and Gimmick, and I don't know. I was hoping to see a little bit more like besides just I don't know what it's been so far, but
yeah, I was one way I did appreciate.
Go ahead. Sorry, no, you're good.
I think there might be a slight delay on my part, but it's not as bad as IG. Not as bad as IG. I'll say that
for sure.
But I do agree with that. I want to, because we got a lot of Maddie and Havoc last issue with the introductions of other characters, and kind of continued that. We got more spotlight on the different Maddie and what this Maddie or the good Maddie's been up to. But I think they're gonna let some of the other characters shine more in the next few issues. I did appreciate that you got people like Gambit and Maggot kind of calling. They're already trepidatious about this team, like when they split up, Gambit told Havoc, he was like, I'm not leaving her with you, and especially not you, man. Like, you're love struck, bro. And then he was like, you better make sure nothing happens to her. Like, he already knows his team is not built on a solid foundation. So I'm glad they're acknowledging things like that. Like, we're working together, but it's a means to an end. We're not just because we're on teams like, let's go get him, which was a big, if you've ever read Teenie Howard's Excalibur, that was a big gripe of mine. It was just, hey, we're on a team now. We're all buddy. Forget all about our history. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, the little acknowledgement like that went a long way for me. But I do want to see some focus on some other characters. Like this, it wasn't a bad issue, but it kind of just meddled along in terms of like
Yeah, it treaded water, didn't it?
Yeah.
I like the surgery scene though. Shout out to Havoc for making it. That was crazy. Like telepathically keeping his neck sealed or whatever. That was pretty cool. And like that surgery, his like surgery table was like some animal's vertebrae with the ribs around it. Yeah, like that was wild. So yeah, I like the grimy nature of that, but I don't know, man. It's kind of all over the place, and it's more like, well, I don't have a problem keep reading it, but it's like sometimes it's just like the amount of X history it's throwing at me is like more than I'm like comfortable with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like some of these other books that are picking up like the loose threads and whatnot, or existing in this fall of X, whatever they're doing, I feel like do a better job of being more accessible. I feel like this one is like, if you like picked up issue 2, if you picked up if you pick up 2 or 3, like I feel like you're going to be completely lost as to what's, you know what I mean? And like I feel like you could pick up Alpha Flight number 2 and not be lost, or you could, you know what I mean? I don't know. Some of these other ones I feel like are a little bit better done.
No, I see. I agree with that. It's not really pushing the plot forward. It's not really necessary in the overall hierarchy of the Fall of X storyline. But that's why I dig it, is because it's off in its own corner. Like it's not something they're trying to push. I feel like a writer, when they're kind of left into their own devices or like off in the corner, the editorial's not really peeping them. They're they can do more. Like I feel like I will agree with you that this is more written for not hardcore X fans, but like, people who will get the little nods at the random characters that are popping up and stuff like that. Like if you're not a hardcore X reader, then, you could be like, oh, it's just another mutant amongst many, that's popping up. But they could do a better job of that. But I think that's because, I grew up X-Men. I can appreciate those little nods to random characters and stuff like that, giving them spotlight. And I don't know. So sometimes I think, like in terms of events, I think the books that are left to do their own things work out better. Like it feels like you're going to get an actual original story out of that if it's not tied to an event sometimes. But no, I do agree. It is tied to Fall of X though, so it should be pushing that story forward. And it's really kind of an obscure book amongst all the rest.
It has, but I don't know how many issues you think this guy has got in the tank. Thank you, Nick. It smells like a new car in here. In the words of Peter Parker, it smells like a new car in here, Mr. Stark.
I'm thinking
how many issues you think we got out of like Dark X-Men, man?
Like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Both had to learn sign language.
For sure.
I was getting there. I was, bro.
Yeah.
Looking at Charlie Chaplin.
Definitely close to something last week, man. Yeah, John says they're trying to balance a lot in the X books these days. They are, and trying to make sure everything, the whole pile of Jenga blocks falls the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot.
But yeah, special shout out to John. John sent me a video yesterday teaching me how to load up some of these PowerPoints and these images onto
Nice.
StreamYard. Verno did as well. So shout out to Verno and John for taking time out of their day for showing me what to do. So appreciate y'all as always. But yeah, man, I don't know. It was an book. Dark X-Men number 2.
Finals.
I'll read number 3 because I've already read the first 2, but yeah.
I agree. I like a little bit more than that, but I think it's the fact that, like you said, it throws a lot of X history at you, like obscure X history that, you're either going to be with it or you're not. If you're a hardcore X-Men fan and you just love the obscure stuff, I think it might gravitate towards you. But if you're just kind of like looking for like something to connect to the overall picture of the fall of X, I guess. Dale. It could be missed. There's a lot of X titles out right now. So many. I saw it was Jean Grey, Realm of X. I think these came out today though. There's like 3 or 4 X titles. I felt like I missed. When did Iceman come out? Was that last week?
Astonishing Iceman came out last week. Yeah, I don't know. They're doing work on the. They're doing work on those on like trying to sub out like on the tie-ins. Basically, everything feels like it's. They're not calling them that, but that's really what these things are. I don't know how many issues Astonishing Iceman has, but I imagine it has about the amount of same as like Dark X-Men or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Dale, thank you for that. Appreciate you for spending time with us tonight. Everybody, thank y'all for coming through, man. Really appreciate y'all coming out to YouTube and making it happen. I hope it's better for y'all. It's certainly better for us. All right, bro. What do you want to go to next, man? You want to do a number 1? We can do Captain America number 1 or Wonder Woman number 1 or Green Lantern.
Let's do some Cap.
Let's do some Cap. All right, bet.
Yeah.
Cap was how'd you like it?
Yeah, you know what? I forget. I remember being hyped about this when it was announced a few months ago, and I had to ask Fable earlier today. I was like, "Who's writing this, man?" I forget all about this, but this was one of my favorite reads this week. It's just nice to see Straczynski return to Marvel. He was, one of their bigger writers 20 odd years ago. And sure. I enjoyed this story, Cap, bro. This was a good introductory issue because I haven't read Cap in a few years. So for me, this was like, I've heard great things about the last series that was out. I think it was Sentinel of Liberty, or was that the other one? Was Sentinel of Liberty Steve Rogers' book?
Yeah, that was Lansing. No, it was. Sentinel of Liberty was a Steve Rogers book. What was the other? Damn it. They had another title for the Sam Wilson book. What was
Symbol of Truth? Sentinel of Liberty, Symbol of Truth, I think it was.
Symbol of Truth, you're right. Symbol of Truth was Sam's book, and Steve's was, you got it.
But you got beautiful artwork by Jesus, man, Saez. I'm definitely butchering his last name. But I like that it just kind of gives the reader a quick touch up on Steve's character. If you're reading Captain America for the first time, I think it does a great job at introducing who Steve is at his core. He's just a regular dude. Well, he was a perfect soldier, but at his core, he's just a regular dude. And this last page was quite a shocker for me. I didn't know where they're going with this.
You dropped the hammer with that one. Like, okay, that's where we're going? Because it could have gone a lot of different ways, right?
Yeah.
With the setups we had, and but I don't like. I liked it. I don't know. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off at the big finale. Did you have something to say? I don't.
No. I was just gonna ask you what you thought of it.
I thought it was cool in the beginning right here where he buys the apartment building or whatever for people. But we have also seen that in Hawkeye before.
Yes.
So that kind of felt second rate, and that it didn't hit as hard as I wanted it to. I love Saez's artwork though. I completely agree with you. I think it fits the bill for a campy, classic looking cat book. You know what I mean? It gives me that. I love this page right here. You know what I mean? When
he's trying to, it's showing you
doing everything to earn his money. Like, that's just such a great cat page. So I don't know. Like, I loved him. Like, coming from Punisher, because Punisher was kind of like a a weird like dark fantasy book at some point. So like seeing the demon, like I guess he's going to be fighting the demon in this guy or whatever. That's going to be his main antagonist or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It had a lot going on. I remember reading it and being like, damn, this book is still going. You know what I mean? Like not in a necessarily in a bad way. It just brought a lot in for a first book. And then to leave it at it's like, wait, I thought we were just at the like, and I get that the bad guy is kind of like the beast, you know, inhabited. That, by the way, fire Frank Miller cover. I love that Frank Miller. But I, you know,
is that Frank?
Gary Frank did one. I forget who else did some of the other variants. But yeah, man, I thought it was great overall. I thought we could have used more action. I thought sometimes it got like weird with the exposition-y stuff, like sometimes, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's one thing you got to get that right with Cap, and you got to hit it in the right way.
I think that he could have had a few more action bits, but I liked what he did at the beginning. How it was like Cap he just randomly took a drop. Miss Marvel, not Miss Marvel, but Invisible Woman, Sue Storm just stops by. He's like, Cap, we need your help real quick. He goes and helps them. He's in like the microverse for 2 days and comes back and like jumps straight back into action because only 2 hours have passed. You know, that was a cool little bit. How, you know, just a day in the life of Captain America. But then that was like the only action we got was the first couple pages at the beginning. The rest was exposition. But yeah, it could have had a few more bits.
Yeah,
just
it's
to show,
so true. Like, it was like all the action was at the beginning. Yeah, for sure. I guess to appease us, but yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued by the Beast thing, the demon. Like to see more of that and where that goes. And you know, I'm definitely more. I thought it was a great issue. I just like I said, it's got a lot going on. I feel like it could have used a little bit more editorial help as far as trimming things
absolutely.
down. But other than that,
some of that say it. My bad. I definitely agree. I was kind of shocked by how much I enjoyed this one. Like, Captain America has to be just right for me, man. But some of that artwork is looking like Gary Frank. Now that I'm looking at it, I couldn't put my finger on it, but some say his works reminds me of Gary Frank in certain panels.
Nice. Gary Frank did that variant right there where Captain's, I think he's got the sandbags or whatever. He did a variant cover for this.
Okay.
Yeah, you're on the right energy there. But it definitely excited to see issue 2. Again, Saya stays killing it. I know he was working on this one for a minute. But you know, we'll see where it goes. I guess he's going to be fighting bad guys on 2 fronts. But you know, I don't know. I'm always down for a good Cap story.
Absolutely.
He's a character who like the more I get into comics, the more I love and respect and really try to like find more stories. Better Possible Futures on Instagram just put me on to one about him versus the Captain, which is, you know, basically a class of ideologies. You know, it's I don't know. It just sounds really intriguing. Basically, you know, the Captain represents, you know, the like an almost authoritarian state point of view and
right,
like, but with Cap's Cap's values. The American values kind of like more forcibly or violently inserted, and Cap has to do some soul searching and like fight him at the same time. But you know, and just like from the ones I read, dude, Brubaker and Epstein's Cap run is like one of the best comics I've ever read in my life, man. It really does not get better to me than Winter Soldier storyline. You know, him finding out Bucky is still alive, just some of those moments will just still live forever, rent free in my head. Just so well done, and Epstein's artwork for that was such a great matching for that. story because it's like Saez is in this field, but it's also got this darker, more noir-y tint to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just
very
the way
like
that
it had a good espionage.
Yes. Yeah, man. Especially like when they were telling Cap that Bucky is Winter Soldier, it was all espionage photos. And so just like that's a great way to put it. Like, but yeah, man. So I don't know. Rick Remender's run. There's a lot of great Cap out there. If you're sleeping on Cap, like, shame on you, dude. Like, he's one of the. I feel like he's one of the most underrated and undersung because everybody thinks he's the corny American freedom guy, but really he's got some of the the best stories and fascinating history as well with Kirby and Joe Simon and all that as well. So Liefeld when he tried to. Good times. Let me stop this video. But yeah, man. Love that issue. Y'all check it out. J. Michael Straczynski still writing comic books. We love it. At least I love it.
Glad to see him back, bro. Yes.
Yeah, man. He was dope.
Even though I know he's been writing for it.
Right? Like he's filthy rich and he's going to be, set for life. Because I don't see is the ticker tape still going on or no?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it go on the ticker. No, it's not right now. Not right now.
Damn it! Why is it? Okay. I thought I started to stop the video. All right, there we are. Hey, it's all working out.
All right.
I'm getting the hang of it. Thanks for which one you want to get into?
Let's do Uncanny Nightcrawler or Uncanny Spider-Man. It might as well be Uncanny Nightcrawler.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I loved it. What did you think about it, man? Like, this was your recommendation, so I'll let you take it away.
When I first saw this title, it was kind of like a no-brainer when they announced it a few months ago. I was like, how has this never been thought of before? Or we've never seen Nightcrawler in Spider-Man's world like this, or him trying to be his own hero. And I was just with it. I like how Cy Spurrier, written by Cy Spurrier, he has written Kurt quite a bit over the last couple of years. Not solo books, but Kurt's always kind of like this main character. But this book picks up with Kurt. He's on his own in the Big Apple. I think he had the little side training where he wasn't conditioned, or he was conditioned to ignore Xavier's message when everyone was forced to go through the Capone gates. And I've been catching up to the X books. I've been off for like a year and a half. And so I didn't know like Nightcrawler like transformed into a demon, had to kill people. So he's kind of like, how Kurt is about being taken advantage of and shaking his faith. So he's kind of feeling insecure about himself because he was possessed. And I guess Kurt borrowed a costume from Spider-Man, a spare costume. I don't know if he had the tail part himself. I thought it was weird that Peter had an extra Spider-Man costume with a tail slot. Yes.
We need to get into that. Where did that, why, how did, they never gave us any, are you aware of any backstory on him and Spider-Man having a whole conversation? I thought that would at least be a thing before the fact, but it seems like a thing after the fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they're approaching it like, they've both been heroes long enough. They've traveled in the same circles, just because even though it shocked me as well, because I was like, I didn't know these guys were close like that, where Kurt could hit him up and borrow a spare costume. But I guess that they're implying that they travel in the same circles. They've both been heroes enough. They've communicate with each other, even though it might have been off panel. But for Iceman, I get it, maybe, or Kitty, possibly, because there's a whole ultimate connection. But no, that was a little weird. But I thought it was fun. I like the story potential of it. It's cool to see Kurt out on his own. I think he's got potential to be a solo hero. You know, he's doing his Wolverine thing. He could easily be his own hero and still be intertwined with the X-Men. And I think like the Spider-Man connections to this, because it's Uncanny Spider-Man, so they want it to still be a Spider-Man book in a sense. I thought the Vulture edition was cool, how he's working with Orcus, and he's Dr. Vulture, Director Vulture, something like that. And you know, we get a few mutant cameos, as one does always in an X-Men related book. And Mystique and Pharaoh was a surprise. You know what? I think it's because when I first read about Pharaoh back in the early X-Force days, she was a good guy. You know, I didn't know she was a bad guy before she joined. Like, my first introduction of her was on X-Force as a good guy. I thought she was just like a pissed off wannabe Wolverine, Wolfsbane wannabe. But I've just seen her get treated like crap so many over the years since then by various X writers. And I'm like, man, she must have really been a piece of crap. Not that much of a good guy. She was, of course, on the MLF. But no, I was shocked to see her.
She went crazy, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. But get nice little cameo. I don't want to spoil it too much, but you get a cool little cameo that's related to the X-Men and Kurt. One that Kurt will appreciate. But I thought it was fun. I think there's a lot of story potential behind it. It was nothing crazy, you know, nothing you've not read before. But if you like how Cy Spurrier writes Kurt, and you want to see Kurt kind of doing things as a solo, he's done solo stuff, but new territory for him. Interesting. I dig.
Yeah, for sure. This is not going to work, but I love the Astral Cutlass too. Like the name of the sword. And like how Peter's like, yo, Astral Cutlass though? Like
he's like for a second, bro.
Dude, that was so funny. But yeah, I thought it was cool, like how like the Sentinel showed up after he saved the day or whatever with the you know, the criminals or whatever, and like it did pick up his mutant gene, and like that's the whole thing, and now he's gonna you know, try to figure out how, or they're gonna try to figure out how that happened, and you know, how he avoided detection, which is a question I had too, because I thought, again, this was like another book I dove into when I was like, all right, first of all, who like, bro is just out here with the Spider-Man, because bro, here's how I feel about it. It's like, you remember American Gangster when Denzel sat down with Cuba Gooding Jr. and had that talk about blue magic and the dilution of a brand? Not that, and I'm not saying that Kurt is anything like that, but you're going to be out here with my name like on your chest. You gotta come through the proper channels. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. They should have got that. Like, it was great. I love how we started out with the action and the car chase and all that stuff. But like, bro is also like seems really troubled. He's got some little demon he's talking to. It appears like, and I don't know, man. So very interesting, but
interesting.
Yeah, I love the sword. You didn't get to see the sword that much. I love that it got unveiled, but it didn't really get used per se. It was just kind of like a thing he pulled out, and that was that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just pointing at the guy.
Yeah.
But what is it?
I don't know. Like a dope. I thought this was a really dope. Cy Spurrier, like Cy Spurrier is an OG, and like to put him on like this random corner of the X / Spidey universe, I was all for it. And I thought the art was really dynamic and cool too. Again.
Shocked it was Lee Garbet, I believe, or Garbett, maybe.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay. They way more kinetic than I'm used to with them, with that artist. But I appreciated it. I like the name Hellcrawler that they kind of gave him. Don't think too much about it. It's just cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was I don't know. It was wild and kind of like crazy that he was like, after he had saved the day or whatever, and all those people were so anti-mutant on the ground around him. Especially when the Sentinel showed up, and the guy's like, "Hey, you ain't gotta worry about it, buddy. There ain't no stinking mutants over here." And
No,
like the whole. So it's just like, I don't know, man. The dude is not. I don't know. I feel bad for the dude because he's never gonna. People are never gonna understand. I feel like even the outsiders, it's hard to empathize with a guy like Kurt Wagner. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He's been
he's
alienated and like chased and hunted, and he's had a rough go.
no. Kurt was born like that, right? Yeah, he was born like that. So it's like most mutants face persecution when they hit puberty. So they have a good portion of their life where the regular people get to live regular lives. Kurt's never experienced that. Since the day he was born, he's always had it hard. He's always had people judging him based off his looks. So
yeah, what was the one thing when he asked him about I forget. He asked him about I forget. I think it was right towards the end of the
was it Kurt and
it was the end of the issue, and it showed like Nightcrawler being monstrous in like ways that were like when he was like, so what was that? It's like, clue me into that history. Like what's that?
That's something I was shocked about myself. I think that's something that might have happened in the last couple years. I didn't read it. It must have happened. If anyone in the comments, if you guys know what storyline that Kurt transformation happened in, please leave it.
Yeah,
but that was the first time Kurt was in that territory where he was like went on a rampage like that. He's probably possessed, but good old Stark Sentinels.
Yeah, right. Isn't it crazy? Yeah, like right there. Like I
love the glowing up.
With. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, what? But this was a great conversation. The conversation, Astro Cutlass. That was such a great moment. I just felt like they could have put that at the beginning of the issue. All right, so it's right there on the right. Like he's being some big hideous monster. Yeah, there it is. He's like, was that you? And he's like, I don't remember it being me or something like that, to that effect. Like, yes, it was me, but was it, me, like, conscious? I don't know. So, we'll see.
No, I think he might have been possessed, or I think that looks like a possession type of situation. Oh, John said Jean Grey, Storm, Rome of X, and Miss Marvel. Okay, and the Iron Man. What an issue! Yeah, there's a lot of X books this week, man.
Oh yeah, is that happening? Oh, is that Iron Man wedding going?
But he's marrying Emma Frost, but it's not for lovey-dovey reasons. It's a political move.
Right, just as the comic is. All right, so next, you want to go to? Let's do Green Lantern. Let's do Green Lantern. Yeah.
All right.
Green Lantern War Journal. One by Philip Kennedy Johnson. Who we got? Art by. Excuse me. Give me 1 second. Art by Montos. Colors by Adriana Lucas. Letters by Dave. Yeah, I love this issue. Is it showing? Is there still?
Yeah. I'm seeing it right now. The panel.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man, I love this issue. What'd you think about it, bro? I know you're the Green Lantern guy, so I kind of deferred to you, but my favorite parts were when he was just kicking. Dude, he said, if you ever put a chain on me again, you better know how to use that ring. And then, like, I don't need a ring when he was beating dude's ass. And then when he conjured the lost grandchild for his relative, I forget
if it was his grandmother or what it was, but just so many like great, and that lost him conjuring the lost grandchild was right after this big badass fight he had, like right here. Yeah, this fight scene was so great.
Yeah, I really dug the art, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I have to finish this issue. I fortunately did not get to finish this one, but I don't mind talking about what I've read so far. I before. Like, wasn't like a miniseries? I'm not sure. Someone correct me if they have. But I love the art. I love how detailed they make John's constructs, because that could just be the artist style, but I feel like that's them recognizing like John creates the most solid constructs out of any of the lanterns. Like they're the most detailed. Just some great. Oh man. Best lantern there is. Guy Gardner, baby.
I don't know what happened to my boy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What happened?
Okay.
You just dropped out, though.
Oh, no, I was talking. I might have cut out. I don't know if anyone heard me. Legion of X is where transfer.
Maybe it's me. I don't know. But you dropped out on me. Dude, I love that dog tag cover, too. I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay. No, yeah, beautiful artwork. Philip PKJ. Once I have to finish it. I unfortunately did get to finish it. But PKJ's always, from what I've read from him, he's shown me nothing but being a solid writer. Like, he does his history anytime he takes on a book. I'm glad that he's the one handling a John Stewart solo book. The art was great, though. I've never seen the artist before, but they're one I'm going to be on the lookout for in the future.
Yeah, right.
I'm excited to finish it. I'm glad.
The cover is kind of weird. I don't know, like the cover's not by the main artist, but I don't know. John Yang had a killer variant for that joint. But yeah, I loved it. Just as again, like I say this all the time, but like as someone who's not like a tremendous fan of the Green Lantern mythos or whatever, and up to date on it, like this is a great access point to like this character has always been cool to me, and I've always loved Jon Stewart from the animated shows and so on. Bro's show in the animated voice is like, man, he's everybody's grandfather. Like, it's so good. So like, yeah, and like I always loved that relationship he had with Hawkgirl in the Justice League show and all that. But like he's always been like one of the cooler lanterns to me. So like see him get a like Philip Kennedy Johnson story that went from being a backup in the Jeremy Adams book to like now having its own title and legit legs under its, or legs to run and really do its thing is a beautiful thing to see. And I love this issue. Like I said, it had 3 or 4 moments which were I think that's one of the axioms of a good comic is like have 3 or 4 moments that I can remember or take with me, and this issue definitely had that. And always try to be innovative with as the lanterns are with what you can do with a ring, and this was that, and just also some great shit talking when he was whooping that ass. Are you a real lantern? Bro showed up like he was something. Bro showed up like he was a problem, and Jon Stewart really showed him. He said, "You yield already? Oh, you yield already? Like, woo, man. Like I don't know. That was great. Yeah, dude. I'm really loving like stuff. I'm really loving where both your lanterns of the trajectory and everything that's going on. I know Hal isn't necessarily your guy. By the way, dude at the end who was searching the astronaut wreckage and stuff like that, was that Guy Gardner?
That is yes, our guy Gardner.
Oh, you have it. Was
our
it
guy Gardner? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. But so like whatever is out there is coming for John, and he's just been trying to. Why is it always a farm, bro? Like anytime they want to get away from that life and like start anew, it's always a farm. It's like Kingdom Come Superman.
It's so peaceful.
Yeah. But bro, really, I think he had the overalls on and the whole nine. Like he thought he was gonna make it happen. But, yeah,
lofty goals.
I just hope his grandmother.
Weren't they on a farm?
Whatever doesn't die. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. They were on a farm in Heroes in Crisis too, weren't they? Heroes in Crisis as well. There was a farm, the location where.
Yeah, that was.
They're trying to.
Yeah. That was a good idea in theory. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because PTSD, think about it, man. And look, PTSD is a thing, even in the beginning of this comic, when he's out in the field and he's plowing and he's having these flashbacks of his time as a lantern. Like, can you imagine that?
Right.
Like, you're out there trying to plant sweet potatoes and you're thinking about like your, astral battle against God knows who, and like that's just got to be like that's got to be another form of PTSD, because not only are you missing, or not only are you affected by the trauma of like the battle, but it's like part of you is probably missing that glory, and like you know what I mean. It's like I feel like it's two time, because it's like I don't know.
He's been in the trenches so long that it takes people a while to get acclimated to a normal life, where there aren't constant explosions or some crazy call he's got to answer. I do it. Well, not to get off tangent, but Heroes. I was talking about this earlier today. I was like, the idea of the story was good, but it's like the character he used for the shock value, or the character he used for the catalyst of what happened in Heroes in Crisis seemed like it was done for shock value, and I think that's where he went wrong. Like it could have the Raleigh West role could have been interchangeable with almost anybody. It could have been a no-name hero that kind of went off the rails and did all that stuff. So it felt like when he used Wally West, he was kind of like shock value. It was just more or less, I'm going to take this character you love and have them do something heinous, tarnish their name. Yeah. But not enough idea.
No, but in theory, like I remember reading that book and being like halfway through the first, or like halfway through it, yeah, and being like, I don't see what the fuss is, and then I remember like him trying to tie all the loose ends together at the end is a fucking mess. But I still agree. Like everybody hates on Tom for that, for his old stick, but I still agree. Like that story definitely has a presence somewhere, and like definitely, like so that was kind of cool to see just in flashbacks at the beginning of this comic. But yeah, great issue, dude. Green Lantern back in the saddle again. Let's go.
You wanna do Wonder Woman? Since we were just talking about the man and it's
Let's
DC.
Do it.
All right.
Wonder Woman, man.
Wonder Woman in issue 1.
Issue 1. Tom King, Daniel Sampere. Art was incredible. Crazy good.
Yeah. I forget where I had seen Daniel Sampere's work before this, but it was a DC comic a few years back, and I was like,
he did all Dark Crisis, and he did. Oh, that's a good question. What he did?
Oh.
But yeah, he was their Dark Crisis guy.
But would you let me hear your thoughts on this opening issue of Wonder Woman? I've been going first. My bad. What did you think?
No, you're good. I liked it. I thought it was good enough. It's so like this Amazonian kid commits mass murder, kills like 18 dudes at this pool hall in the Midwest, and then goes and dips out, and basically like the rest of the issue is the back blow from that. Amazonians are summarily like ostracized, hunted, and in some cases executed throughout America. And finally, like the issue, like Sergeant Steele, I guess, is the guy who heads that team, the Amazonian detention team, we'll call it. I have no knowledge of Sergeant Steele up to this point, but bro got punked pretty heavily, so I'm sure he's going to come back and be a menace in some type of way. I'm sure he's not letting that go because his hand just got crushed again, and he felt good about his hand. Oh. His hand was getting him paid. He thought he was a sleek little hitman with his finger gun. He thought he was Dr. Doom or somebody, really. But, dude, I loved the Diana scene. I love the action in this. I love the Diana scene at the end. I love that, like, that scene when she gives her sword. I highlighted it in here, but when she gives her sword shows back up in Themyscira, and the queen's like, you know, what's going on with this? And she's like, you know, yeah, she didn't want the temptation. It's like the temptation. I don't want the temptation. What I must do now. So, and she didn't, bro. She went out there bro had the whole battalion ready, and she went out there with nothing but herself and her crown and gauntlets or whatever, and handle business. So I love the action side of it. Robbie had a critique that it was too wordy, and I definitely feel that in some ways. I feel like there's this narration through the whole way that you find out at the end is the lasso of lies guy, but it just doesn't have a big enough payoff for me to be like, yeah. I think it's the blue text you see throughout all these pages just to keep in track with. Mm-hmm. Like, man, it's fucking exhausting. By the end of it, you're like, okay, this is the guy. But it's like, what is that? You know, I don't know. I feel like you could have just introduced him in episode 2 or issue 2 and run with it. But I love the art. I love the way the action was depicted in the art. I love that little pool ball reflection shot right there. Like, yeah, I thought Sampere killed it. Like the way the pool ball massacre was, the pool hall massacre was depicted, and the way Sergeant Steele was introduced, and Wonder Woman in the graveyard, all excellent scenes. So overall, I loved it. And yeah, curious to see where it goes for sure. How about you, bro? Yeah.
I more or less echo your sentiments. I thought it was a solid start. Great. The battle or the pool hall scene was super dope. I loved the page I loved in particular was the one you said with like the silhouettes, and you see the blood splatter on the window, the guy fly through the window. I thought, you know what? I'm not too familiar with certain DC characters, and I know Tom King had just did a spy book like last year with a certain character. I forgot the name of it. So I thought Sergeant Steele was him at the beginning until they started referencing the Amazons attacking. It does remind me of Clayman art. Yes.
Yeah, good
but the Sergeant Steele dude, I was like, oh, that's the guy from the Amazons attack from like back in 2007, which was apparently a terrible miniseries, but I didn't think it was that bad, but it got critically bad. But it was wordy and I say this with a delicate tongue, a little preachy. Not preachy, but I feel like don't get me wrong, because all writers do this, but they take what's going around them and they kind of speak on events of it. But I felt like this one was a little too thick or heavy-handed with Mr. King in this particular instance. Not that it was bad, but it was just like, okay, I get it. And that is a shtick for King to begin with. He is, very tied to like the military or the CIA and politics.
Like, dude, what did that guy do for the CIA? Is my question. Like, what happened, Tom?
He was apparently like an interrogator or something like that. I I'm curious to what degree that was, because it's like if he was an interrogator for the CIA, he had to be privy to some stuff, you know.
Right. I've always
Just gotta be careful with
like. I'm gonna get him in an interview and just ask
What?
him nothing but like, CIA questions.
Yeah.
Just press
So
on,
how
like,
was it during your interrogation days, bro?
how did it really damage your soul? Be specific with me.
If you have you ever read Sheriff of Babylon?
No, see, like that's the thing is like I know that's the book that was like supposed to be his depiction of that time, but nah, man, I never. But
It was solid. It was solid.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Who did the art on that? Was that Mitch Jarrett's?
It might have been Mitch Jarrett's, to be honest. That's probably where they. I want to say it could. I think it might have been Mitch Jarrett's, but I want to say it was like Walter or Hernandez. I'm really drawing a blank. It's Mitch though. It's probably. Okay.
Yeah, good point, Nick.
Yeah.
They did. It's a little bit. It's not like It's not like Pearl Harbor and the Japanese internment camps. I don't know. And then like that panel they had with the dad, whose daughter is all pro Wonder Woman, but then the dad's like, they just never been American. When it comes,
they don't want equality. They think their kind is better than our kind.
Yeah, it's like
yeah. It seemed a little extreme, That's why I thought like the political. I mean, maybe that's how political stuff operates this day. People are moving to extremes too quickly. But I felt that was like, especially when they killed the old Amazon. They killed that Amazon mom. I was like, you guys didn't even give her a chance to, there was no neutralizing darts or anything like that. It was straight bullets. Even with Wonder Woman, he tried to take out Wonder Woman preemptively. Like, she didn't do anything. They attacked her first and then tried to spin it. But still seems like a POS, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I don't. And like she said, we'll meet many times in the future, but I don't know. The lasso of lies, and America has believed in the lasso of lies. Like, okay. Yeah, it's like another comic about, you know what I mean? About division in America. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
I get it already. I get it. I do.
Right. Yeah. That's how I felt. Yeah.
And I get that these characters are the characters we created to, overcome those in our minds, or, in these stories to overcome these differences. But like at the same time, it's like, fuck's sake, man. I don't know. Comics about like differences and people being closed-minded and like that's the enemy is like kind of OD right now.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's just like a played out trope.
Yeah, it's played out trope. Yes, perfectly said. That was my whole thing. It's like, not to say it was wrong that he's doing this, but we've seen this so much over the last few years. Like, I expected a little bit more subtlety or more from Mr. King, to be honest. It wasn't bad,
and
but
that's
it was
okay. But does that, and it doesn't feel original to Wonder Woman. Like, really, that's where we're going with it? Like, that just seems like the same old road with her. And I'm glad that we have new characters and so on and so forth, but like, I don't know, dude. I feel like it could be better. So
definitely agree. The art for me was definitely the highlight. If he didn't have Daniel Semper wasn't killing it, then I probably would be a little more harsh on this book. A little less forgiving, but had quality art to drag us through.
Facts, yeah. And I feel like I don't know. And I feel like people do a thing with Tom King where like, because they know he's like a talked about or celebrated writer, people are extra critical on him more so than they might be on like a regular writer writing a #1. So I don't know. I feel like it's also worth it to keep that in mind sometimes. You know what I mean?
That's
I feel
very
like
true. That's
for
very
what
true.
you could ask for, if I'm if I'm working for DC, like I love that number one. You know, that's checking all the boxes for me. But as a comic fan, is it really like something that's gonna move the needle and be is it gonna be an all-time Wonder Woman story for the right reasons? I don't know.
I don't know if it's. I don't want to. I can't predict the future,
so
but to me, it does.
Okay.
You said are we live still?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just making sure it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. Number two coming out soon enough. I liked both. I thought out of the three number ones between Cap, Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman, Green Lantern was my favorite of the number ones. I thought that was the strongest.
Okay.
Cat was good, but it felt like it had a whole lot going on more than it needed to. It felt a little too busy. And, we just talked about our problems with Wonder Woman. But Green Lantern, I felt like was strong and tight. And I don't know. That was definitely
good,
like of the number ones. Uncanny Spider-Man was no joke either, though. That was probably the number two. How about you?
Yeah.
If you had to rank those four number one.
I will say I gotta finish Green Lantern, so I'll leave that up top spot. Wonder Woman's definitely number 4. Cap, I'll give number 3 spot. It was solid. It was solid, but like you said, it's nothing that was kind of like new territory. From what I read of Jon Stewart, really off to a solid start. It seems like this is a series I'd like to see go the like. Why hasn't Jon taken so long for Jon Stewart to get a solo book? Or I don't know. That's weird. Or one of this caliber, should I say? It's so tough right now because from what I've read, Jon Stewart, Green Lantern was a bit more stronger. But there wasn't. I like the potential of Uncanny Spider-Man, so I'll give it to Uncanny Spider-Man. It's nothing spectacular, but I just like the idea of it, and it entertained me enough.
All right, fair enough, dude. I thought it was very, very well done for a number one. I mean, like I said, I still have some questions, but it was fun, man.
Yeah,
it was a fun ride. Sometimes, like Nightcrawler or Spider-Man, sometimes you just want to buy the ticket and take the ride. So, all right, let's do. You want to do Loki and get out of here? Does that sound good?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, bet. Dude, I love the. So you finally found out it was Bullseye who had the last piece of Nafalgar or whatever.
Nafalgar.
Yeah. Dude, this is such a great issue. It's such a great miniseries from Marvel. I really hope it finds the praise and success that it deserves, because this was just like such a unsung gem, I feel like. But I love the whole back and forth of Bullseye's got this piece of Nafalgar that, because of his whole precise nature and wanted things to be dead on and, be able to pin any person's weakness right away. He's just obsessed with the book and with a piece of the boat, and just that whole back and forth between him and Loki. It's not really a contest or a fight, but and just to see what it originally meant to Loki and how he created it as a vision of himself to remind him how flawed he was like that little poetic icing on the cake. But one of the really strongest miniseries I think Marvel has given us this year, the art by Germain Peralta has been killer. Throughout. Done a great job, especially with like these side by side, faces to faces, when Bullseye's recounting all the places Loki's already left in search of, or trying to put this wrong right, and just, I don't know, man. I love this series top to bottom. I appreciate you taking the ride with me, bro. But I definitely think it was worth it. It was a great series. Dan Waters. This is one of those series, you read. This guy I'm somewhat familiar with, but this just makes me want to read everything he's ever written because it was just that good for me. It's such a great examination and really understanding of the character of Loki and what makes him tick and who he is.
Very complex, layered character that I think Waters writes super well. Like he just, it seems a natural fit for him. He can I don't know. There's something about the way he writes Loki. Is like, we know Loki's not always up to good, but at the same time, we know Loki's not super heinous, bro. Like, he's just conniving. That's just his way. And it's weird how this series, even though Loki's up to some shit, sometimes you're still empathetic towards him or towards Loki towards Loki them. But I said earlier, sometimes when writers are left to their own devices off to a corner, bro, you get great stories, and this is a good example of that. They let Waters do his thing. There was no tie-in to tie into. He just comes in, tells the story he had in mind, and you get greatness from it. I really love that Spider-Man panel where Spider-Man's like crawling upside down. That was really cool. Demonic Spider-Man, a possessed Spider-Man shot.
What did he say? Like Bullseye had control of him, and Loki showed up. He was like, "Bug, get him." He called him Bug. I love
it. And I never thought I'd get a series where Loki versus Bullseye. And the way their battle was, it's not like they were just fist fighting, duking it out. When you think of a classic hero fight, it was very he used his powers, but it was almost what's the word I'm looking for? Not meta, but he was almost.
I love how he took the pages from the book and how they were so heavy with their truth, and then he made a paper airplane out of it and used that to he threw it at Loki, and Loki ducked it, and it hit the foundation of the building, and the building came. So it seemed like that's exactly what he wanted to do in the whole time. I don't know, a little like that. But yeah, it was I thought it was a very genius stroke to be to pit Bullseye against Loki and to find the depth in each of their characters and bring it out like this. You know what I mean? I thought it was not only for Loki but for Bullseye. I thought it was very well done. And two, like you said, two characters you never thought you'd see coming together, but I don't know, just like the way the whole story brought them together, fated them to be together in the first place, and then Bullseye's really his love of this thing and his desperate need and want to keep it, and how it aligns with everything that he usually represents in ways that are more on a conceptual and thematic level than they are physical and literal and real. I don't know, it's more philosophical.
Yes, philosophical.
And that was really cool to see. So I can't recommend this series. Like I said, I've been blabbing about it the whole time. I can't recommend it enough. I think it's great. One of the best things Marvel's done this year.
I really like that scene where Bullseye is trying to hit him with some truths at first, and Loki is, like I said, this is where the layers come in. He's so comfortable with himself, or kind of is at peace with Loki is so at peace with who they are with themselves, that it's that truth is not it made everyone else crack, but Loki just brushes it off their shoulders like it's not shit, and I like that because Loki, like I said, Loki's still up to Loki's stuff, but Loki is trying to turn a new leaf and do things for a better reason, trying to go down the straight and narrow. I mean, that wouldn't necessarily say Loki is a hero, but Loki's not a villain, but they're still up to Loki-like things. That's the layers. That's where the layers come in. But still empathetic towards Loki. I appreciate that. But yeah, I think E loves this book. He's been singing this book's praises as well, Stu. You guys would have a lot to talk about. But I'm glad you guys have been talking about this book. I'm glad you recommended it to me. This has been I probably honestly wouldn't have checked this out had you not recommended it to me. Maybe a little later, because I do like the artist, but Waters has been hit or miss for me. And I don't know if I would have taken the chance on Waters on a character like Loki, but you got a gem out of it. And I gotta respect that. Hello.
I think that's it for this week.
Oh yeah, I see.
Let me turn this off. Hold on 1 second. Is there anything you wanted to? Not really. I haven't really. Honestly, it's been such a crazy day. I haven't even looked at what's coming out next week, so I don't have.
You know what?
Anything
I knew it.
Looks like I know there's books coming out that I'm excited about, but I do not even know what's going on.
Is Ultimate Invasion this week or is that next week?
Yeah. No, you're right. It is this week. Yep. Oh yeah, bro.
I'll quickly. I did see some books today that came out. I forget. Oh yes, yo, Rider Strike ended, man. About time. About time.
Right.
And you know what? This is a side note, but I say I'm glad the Rider Strike ended is because this was holding back a lot of things, not just movies and comics, but greatness like 90s boy bands, aka NSYNC. You guys have maybe seen that they made a little appearance together a few weeks ago on the VMAs. Rumor has it they might be putting an album together again, and they didn't want to say anything because they're not trying to take the spotlight away from the plight of the writer strike. But there's rumor has it they're waiting for the writer strike to clear up when they're gonna drop some news of their own. So, all you pop fans, you NSYNC fans, stay tuned.
Look at that, bro! Fucking only here on Supreme Clientele do you get NSYNC exclusive. So, there, y'all keep trying. Maybe one day you'll be on our level. But
one day,
man, bro, I want to say thank you to Eric and Sal, anybody who's still left in the chat, Nick for coming through, Fable, all y'all. First YouTube experiment on StreamYard. I think it went very well, all things considered. Link, appreciate you always sticking with me, bro, and having patience. But yeah, man, always a joy talking with you every week, bro. Anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
Thank you guys so much. I was a little shocked when I put out that little post yesterday, but call to arms for people to come and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And, it was like less than an hour later. You're like, we're there, man. I was like,
yeah, man.
That's the community, awesome. Bro. That's the community I love.
Yeah,
Thank you guys. Thank you. And thank you for being here with us on our Marvel rebranding. We're kind of like when Zdarsky and Cicchetto relaunched Daredevil. There was no need. I mean, we had to relaunch, but it's in that vein, Same creative team, same stuff, new show-ish. But thank you guys. You're the best.
Facts. I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming out. PCP Horror Fest continues. Verno just dropped Quiet Place 2 an hour before we started, so y'all make sure you hit that replay. Congrats to my man for getting eloped and married. Bro, congratulations. Thank you for coming through earlier. Fable's first show on YouTube is going to be October 7th. Y'all make sure y'all tune in for that one. I know that show's only going to get bigger and better as time goes on. Other than that, it's going to be business as usual, I think, moving forward. Yeah, we'll be back here next Wednesday, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time. But until then, thank y'all for coming through. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace and station.